Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year's. I want to first start out by saying thank you to Dr. Flute for this opportunity, because through this intern, I've gained insightful knowledge and this new experience to speak with Ethel Katz, that now I'm able to tell, and I'm going to say everyone that I encounter from here on, her story, and just the wonderful stories that I've sat here this morning and overheard. I wrote down a list of things, a whole bunch of things to talk about this morning. I even got it here, but it's to me, I'm just gonna tell you, because even now I'm kind of shaking up behind it. So please, can you give Miss Ethel Katz a round of applause for showing up today? Thank you. Thank you. This is an extraordinary lady. I went to her house to interview her, and I'm not even gonna lie. I went to her house and I went in there. I said, okay, I'm a man. I'm good. I got this. I'm gonna talk to her, and feel her out a little bit and hear her story and write about it. But I'm not gonna lie. I say within a half an hour, I started tearing up. I put my pencils, my book down. I was just like, oh my God. I stopped taking notes after a while. This lady, before the war, everything was normal to her. Everything was normal. I mean, she went to school. She had 7 members in her family. Her mother, her father. She had a twin brother. Yes, she had a twin brother. She had an older sister, and she had 2 younger brothers who were also twins. Now, that stood out to me because I have a younger brother, and we're not twins, but everyone throughout my whole entire life assumed that we are. So we just start telling people, yeah, we twins. And in the beginning of her life, she told me like wonderful memories, such as playing soccer with her friends. She said, like, I was a great goalkeeper, and I was like, go ahead. She tells me about school. It was a time when her 2 younger brothers, they were twins, and when she went to school in those days, they would have regular subjects such as what we go through, like math, English, those of that sort, and Latin. She studied Latin and German, the language, and poetry. And I thought that was, kind of fascinating, because I like poetry. And what I thought was very funny was her 2 younger brothers, they would study a whole poem. One would study half, the other would study the last half of the poem. And when the teacher would call upon them, and she would say, okay, recite this line in the poem, whichever brother remembers it, they would raise their hand and recite the poem. But I thought that was funny, because it's like no one did their homework by themselves. It's like they tried to beat the system. But you know what? If you ask me, I would have did the same thing.
Keable, how did things change for her?
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Her story is so amazing, because right after Hitler came into power, everything changed for her. I mean, she had to basically flee. I mean, unfortunately, her mom died before the war started, so it was just her father, her older sister, her twin brother, and her 2 younger brothers. And one situation that happened was they rounded up the professional men in the town, which in fact one of them was her brother, and they told them they had to come to the police station before 6 p.m. And her brother made it. However, he didn't make it back home. They sent them all out into the forest and gunned them all down. So it was just, unfortunately, it was just her mother, her father, her older sister, and her 2 younger twin brothers. Now, with all this going on and all this happening, they had to basically flee from their house, their house and their farm, which they owned at the time also, and go to go from the bushes to cornfields to attics, shacks,
and grain fields.
Just to hide, just to get away, just to live for the next day. And it was just such a tragic that the one time after running for so long, they finally reached the home where it snowed, and they got snowed in. So this was like the actual one time that they got the relief, like not to have to watch their back and to say, what's gonna happen now, because, you know, when you're snowed in, no one's really gonna come and attack you. I mean, people don't even come and shovel your front yard when it's snowing. So this is the only time they had to say, okay, relax and calm down. During this time, while they were snowed in, they heard planes, all kinds of planes hovering over the house and flying past the house. And I remember her two younger brothers, she told me her two younger brothers were saying, we're free, tomorrow we're gonna get to go to school, and we're gonna get to continue school, and we're gonna get to be a doctor, a lawyer, just all kinds of imaginations popping in their heads of what tomorrow could possibly bring for them. Now, throughout this whole time, they had food, but it was very little because her father was, he had two friends that were sheriffs at the time.
Polish and April.
Polish
and Ukrainian.
And Ukrainian. And they would bring food every 2 weeks or so. And it spread every 2 weeks because they tried to avoid getting caught. So with food shortage, they had to basically preserve. So weeks and weeks at a time, they would go without food. So one of her younger brothers, after one said, oh, I can't wait till tomorrow because I get to go to school. The other one said, no, I don't even want to go to school. I want a loaf of bread. I mean, a whole loaf of bread just so I can eat. Just so I can eat.
What finally happened to them when they were hiding?
When that ended, they were surrounded by a whole bunch of soldiers. And her dad, I remember her saying it, her dad, you know, showed them to the back of the house and told them to jump out the window and just keep running. He said, run, run, just run, just run, just run. And she got hit in the back of her head and she passed out. She passed out and she was unconscious. He's basically left for dead. Mind you, it's snow outside, it's freezing cold. And she was conscious for a second and she saw like many boots around her. But they didn't stop for her. They ran off to catch her brothers and sisters that were still running into the forest. All of them were gunned down. All of them. Now, I'm shaking telling this because this touched me a lot because I'm not gonna lie, like me, I'm very, very, very family oriented, very family oriented. I mean, I honor my mother and my father and I love my brothers and sisters. And it's like, you're by yourself. You're by yourself. You don't have no one to call on. You don't have no one to talk to about the situation. You basically have to think for yourself. Honestly, I mean, sometimes I go through situations now where I gotta ask my mom, like, what do you think about this? So I ask my brother, what do you think about this? You know, because, I mean, granted I can think for myself, but sometimes you need reassurance, you know, from your family to know if you're doing the right thing or not. So the fact that she lost everyone in her family, it's just her. I mean, no grandmother, no grandfather, no cousin, nothing, no brother, nothing, no one. This amazing woman was able to gather herself. 3 Polish men rescued her.
I want to stop you for a minute. I want to ask Ethel something. Yeah. Ethel, you've spent a good deal of time with Keable. What's your reaction to him? What do you want from him?
Well, as you see, he was very, very attentive. He absorbed the story very much. He knows every detail what happened. When we finished the story,
Speak a little louder.
When I finished telling him what happened, he stopped and he said, I will tell about it to my children, to my family, and to all my friends. At this point, I smothered him with kisses.
Oh, he's a good-looking guy.
Because it's very important to me that the world knows about the Holocaust. The Holocaust happened. The world must know that hatred, what is the result of hatred? I appeal to the generation following us. You must educate, you must enlighten the future generation what is the result of hatred. Never let it happen again. What it was, a man must lead his life by his conscience. He must follow his conscience and decide what is wrong and what is right. We could have our religion, our nationality, our culture, but you must respect your neighbor's religion, your neighbor's culture, and then we could live in peace.
Absolutely.
Then we could live in peace if you respect your neighbor's what he believes.
Thank you very much, Ethel. Thank you.